an epidemic. These fake pastors are outside in these streets, thieving from the poor and giving to the rich themselves. So I'm a mega church cult survivor, and I spent 18 years in what I thought was a church. It turned out to be a cult. Now, the church cult trolls have been all up in my comments saying, what has he done to you? What has he done to me? Check out parts 1 to 2. I've spoken about and broken down the financial exploitation to the point where people can't pay their rent and feed their kids' chair. So anyway, I've spoken about the financial commitments from a mandatory member, and now I'm going to get into the uniforms. This is a big one in church cults. They love to do up a uniform because they don't want you to have autonomy. They don't want you to have individuality. To do up these uniforms so that you lose all sense of self and identity. Social conformity is also part of this. They want everybody to look the same. Beginning of them grooming people to take on the pseudo personality of the cult leader, and especially the women conform to the purity and modesty culture. With the uniform, each ministry has a uniform and prices vary. You have to pay for everything. As I said in these church cults, it's like pay as you go chair. They even got the card reader machine. Don't worry, you can just tap here. Some of these church cults even have cash points outside the church. So we were in this crazy first impressions ministry, and basically I used to go with the pastor and get dresses for like £3 and then sell them to church members, 2 dresses for £30. Also, you're told when you start these ministries, you have to pay for the uniform. It's mandatory. So do you see this as exploitation? Because we're going out and getting the dresses for £3 and then it's mandatory for people to buy the £3 dress for 15 or 20 quid. Absolute exploitation. I know that in Caris, the uniform costs hundreds of pounds, and I know UCKG, they also exploit the members to spend hundreds of pounds on these human fecal matter Mormon looking clothes. Chair. Christmas dinners. This one's interesting because I actually organised the event and I got the tickets for somewhere between like £12.50 and then we were charging people for £25. They also charged us for phone booths as well and pictures. So they make so much money and they put it into the church coffers. Have monetary commitments for summer party, summer evangelical event, Valentine's Day social events for tickets range between £50 to £150 depending on what they're doing. They would get a quotation for these events at incredibly low prices and then upsell it, stating that they were trying to cover costs. Members were forced to go to these events, especially shepherds. That's another thing. You have no say. You have to go to these events. Otherwise, you're seen as not a strong Christian. You're seen as disloyal. You're seen as an orangu. Cult term, they call people who don't do what they say orangutans. Can you imagine? Let's go to personal commitments. And in the words of a survivor, to prove your allegiance to your pastor, you were to give special offerings, usually on their birthday, Father's Day, Mother's Day, or at any time to give thanks, like Christmas, etc. It was seen as insulting to give anything less than £50. Bishop Dag has actually said, I don't want your measly £50 in various preaching. A good respectful offering from a young person would be £50 to £100. For an older adult of working age, £150 to £200. It's this type